I live in a dusty little town where the people are poor, with rough hands from working in the fields under a blazing sun. We don't have any supermarkets, or chain restaurants, or discount stores. There isn't even a sign that says Mecca at the turnoff from Highway 86, so we're literally out in the middle of nowhere. You hardly see places like this anymore, especially in Southern California. My name is Maria Guadalupe Machuca. I was born here in Mecca. I grew up here, and after I went away to college, I wound up coming back to work at the Mecca Family and Farm Workers Service Center. The one thing that people seem to know about Mecca is that it's poor. We're all farm workers, or the children of farm workers, and everybody knows working in the fields is a hard way to make a living. But you know what? Growing up here, I never realized I was poor. We didn't have a lot of material things that you see in other places, but we had something else instead. We still do. A lot of people who leave here, they wind up coming back. We love this place. When people ask why, I have to admit it's hard to put my finger on it. All I can tell you is that it's something people with a lot of money would want to buy if they can find it, and if you could put a price on it. That's what I want to talk to you about. The heart and soul of this community.
What makes Mecca a community is, up to me, the people who are like the founders of this town, people who have like 30, 35 years here and have stayed here.
A lot of families know each other. A lot of families have been here since 1950s, and many generations have grown up here.
It was just a large extended family where it wasn't your mom keeping your eye on you. It was the comadre down the street and the lady down the next street, and so it was small enough where everybody could take care of everybody's kids.
We're kind of like family oriented. It's a little Mexico, so most of the people here are, I would say 100% are Chicano Latino.
En el pueblito de Meca hemos hecho un santuario a nuestra Virgen Morena, Madre de los mexicanos. Entre todos cooperamos con un granito de arena para hacer este santuario a nuestra Virgen Morena. También los que son de afuera nos dieron su donación. Eso se recuerda siempre y se lleva en el corazón.
I have them fill out papers for them, if it's an unemployment form or something with DMV, and I don't get paid for it. I just do it to help them out because I know some don't have a vehicle to go to Coachella to have it done. So I fill it out for them here, but I want to see how I do it because that's the person I am. I'm not trying to get them as a customer, and some don't even come back to buy anything from me, but I just do it because I know it's hard for them. It's tough. I put myself in their shoes, where if I were to go to another country and I didn't know the language and I had to fill paperwork, I would feel lost.
They're aware that we're available to any of their needs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And sometimes we get a knock on the door at 3 in the morning asking for a bandage or even a blood pressure check, and we oblige to them.
At first I was offered the position to go to Mecca school, and I turned it down a number of times because I had in the back of my mind notions that people have about this community that sits out there in the rural part of Coachella Valley. And so I said no, I wouldn't go out there. So finally I was assigned to open the school while they looked for another principal. And so I went out there, and after about 2 months I had made the decision that this was a place where I really wanted to be. And I wanted to be there because of the people that I had met, the commitment that they had toward the community and the school.
What Mr. Ceja wanted as principal was to make the School of Mecca the heart of the town. So we were open till 9:30 at night in different classes like English and computers and parenting skills, which was where I really took part, teaching parents how to take care of their children in this country, learn the laws of this country with regard to how you treat a child, how you educate a child.
I always found that when I was in other settings that I could always tell the Mecca kids because they had the most pride in their community.
The way we lived as kids had a lot to do with nature and what nature had to offer. We didn't sit in front of the TV for hours. We went outside and We did things that nature had to offer.
Sun's coming out, and you can see the shadow just lining over the vines, and on the side you can see the people working, but also, within that shadow you'll see the actual grapevines and the actual grapes dropping out. In my head, it's one of the most beautiful things you can ever see. To a degree, our American dream is this, which is picking up the fruit.
Some of the teams from the other side of the valley weren't willing to come to Mecca because it was dangerous. Well, I got upset over that because I played here when I was a kid, and I never had problems. And I played in Palm Desert, Angel, Coachella, growing up, and I never seen a problem in Mecca. And I think that's just an excuse from the other communities not to come to Mecca. And I know it's hard for the kids here to get rides to go play somewhere else. And I was willing to sponsor that or get security here for have the other families come over here to see that Mecca is not what they say it is.
En Mecca se vive feliz como en cualquier parte. No le hallo yo por qué motivo mucha gente no quiera vivir en Mecca. Es un lugar pacífico.
I've been at this clinic for working, it'll be over 9.5 years. As clinic manager, it will be 5 years. Working for Clínicas de Salud del Pueblo will be 25 years. But I came to the town of Mecca in 1973 to work in picking grapes. It was really hard work because we had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to come with my sister that brought us in a truck along with my mother and some of my family members. So we were here by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. We ate breakfast in a camp that was for braceros at that time.
In 1970, of course, things were a lot different. When I got to Coachella in 1971, they were paying $1 an hour or 5 cents a box. That was it. No water, no toilets, no bathrooms, no breaks, no job security, no unemployment, no health benefits, no retirement.
We were getting the farm workers to understand that it was for their own benefit that we're going to get a union, that only them could change things in the fields, not us. Only them could change things in the fields. It had to come from them, from the bottom, in order to get the attention and get the laws passed. And this is why we were talking into the field. In many cases, in a lot of cases, people here, like Ray Huerta and the rest of the people that work here in Mecca, were arrested for talking to people and trespassing.
You can't understand Mecca without knowing something about the struggle farm workers went through to get the same rights other workers have. People today have no idea how bad the conditions were for farm workers back before the marches and the boycotts. Cesar Chavez and the movement he started have the same meaning for us that Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement does for African Americans. In Mecca, we still keep the farm worker movement alive. It's deep in our culture. On the Cesar Chavez State holiday, we have a march and a community fair to celebrate the spirit of Si Se Puede. The march brings together people like my father, Simon Machuca, Rafael Zárate, and Raimundo Huerta, who sacrificed so much fighting for our basic rights, along with the younger generation that only knows about it from their stories and songs. Facts become stories, stories become legends, and this is how we find out who we are and where we came from.
Ahorita hay plan médico de todo, desde vista, dientes y vacaciones pagadas.
The farm worker movement was for decent wages and working conditions. But the thing Cesar Chavez believed in over everything else was education. He wanted farm workers to be able to send their kids to school instead of having to work in the fields. Here in Mecca, his dream came true. We have really good schools, and because of that, you see children of farm workers going on to be teachers and doctors and all kinds of other professions. Mecca School, where I went, is over 100 years old. The new school on the other side of town is named after Saul Martinez. He was a farm worker and a regional director of the United Farm Workers. Later, he gave his life, saving his partners when he worked for the Highway Patrol. My friends and I grew up with the values that Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta inspired in my father and Mr. Zarate's generation. Pride in who we are, working for the betterment of our community, respect for the dignity of every person, no matter how poor, the community as an extension of the family. I feel like I'm carrying on those values by working at the Mecca Family and Farm Workers Service Center and by serving on the Mecca Community Council, along with Maria Rios, Sa Alejos, Jose Romero, and Jaime Gonzalez. The council is just like any other city council, except Mecca is in an unincorporated part of Riverside County, so we're appointed by Roy Wilson, the supervisor for Riverside County's 4th District. One subject that gets a lot of discussion at our council meetings is the Little Triangle Park. That's the first thing that you see when you drive into town. It's where migrant workers and homeless people hang out when they can't find any place else to stay. When migrants come in from the outside, we welcome them, but they need to respect our community. If they're going to be drunk and obnoxious and leave a lot of trash, we can't just let it happen. Elfina Tarango Gonzalez owns a restaurant across the street from the park.
El problema más grande de Mecca es el parque, lo principal, porque en el parque hay mucha suciedad, no respetan, entonces yo pienso que esto empieza porque el concilio empiece a poner mano dura a que limpien.
People in Mecca have mixed feelings about this problem. We have a long tradition of helping people who come here with nothing. It's not in our nature to just run them out of town, the way they do in a lot of other places. We're working with a lot of social service agencies and community organizations to get housing, employment, and mental health services for people in that condition. It's not just a job for law enforcement. But if you come into Mecca and all you see is poverty in a place that's what they call undeveloped, you're missing the point. When I look around, I see houses that may be small and modest, but each one of them is different. Each one shows the personality of the family that lives there. The streets may be full of potholes, and there may not be many sidewalks, but people are always out walking or riding their bikes or sitting around talking. Nobody's in a hurry. In just about any place you go, you see fields of grapes, peppers, watermelons, lemons, oranges, grapefruit, dates, up against the mountains that look like a rainbow when the sun goes down. It feels like it must have been this way forever. But now, everything in Mecca is just about to change.